Hey, y'all, what's going on? Let's see, we got Family Karma, Season 2, Episode 6, Good Vibrations. Okay, so a little slow start, not much going on. We got Bali and Anisha at Bali's house, and they're not really doing much, just talking about their relationships and, how's Anisha doing with her online dating or whatnot. And, she said she got at least, 4 on the line, so she's, a little busy in that department, but not getting busy, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? But Bali was trying to tell her, go ahead and, use that little shower head. But Anisha, she's a little I don't know what's the word, because she's not there for at least for that. But anyway, like I said, they ain't doing nothing. Then they flip to Armrit and his boyfriend Sean, I think it's Sean. No, Nicholas. Armrit and Nicholas. And this is like Nicholas already met the grandma, but he met her as the friend. So now, since she knows about Amrit and his sexuality, he's going to meet her as the boyfriend. So it's a little bit different because now she's going to see him differently. And it actually went pretty well. The grandma, since she already knows him, she just said, "I'm glad y'all happy, and y'all should be happy." And then Nicholas kind of goes on ahead to say how his coming out story was maybe a little rocky, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as easy, which I think most people is not. But he said that his parents is okay, and that his parents know Amrit and met Amrit, and that they're cool. So far, so good when it comes to the families. He's just unsure about the wedding situation, like, because they're gonna start planning at some point. But will his parents actually come? Was his little concern. So okay, so so actually that's what I missed with Bali and Anisha. Well, I didn't miss that, I just forgot to say it. But Bali was putting together her Friendsgiving like she did last year. And remember, she invites pretty much all the rest of the crew and the cast, because of course she doesn't consider herself an auntie, even though she in her 40s and all of them are in their 30s or 20s. So I guess I see where she at, because technically their moms is like in their 50s, 60s. So she like, nah, I ain't one of them. But I'm not young. So anyway, but she invited everybody. So Vishal and his mama, they out to eat. And, they talking about work, So remember, Vishal he works for his mom. She's the broker. She got the company, like it's all in her name, I would assume. But yet he works for her. He just has his associate's degree. And she just trying to tell him, like, get your broker's license, which he say he working on. And that way he can take over and, whoop-de-whoop, that way he'll have his own. But then he still has, Rishka. She done moved back to Tennessee and went home. And, that's where she lives. So that's where her job is. So unfortunately, when they do want to decide to get married or whatever, well, they're already engaged. Well, no, because they're taking a break right now. They're taking a break. But technically, when they want to go and figure this marriage thing out, that's something that they do have to figure out. And I think that's one of the problems is we going to live in Miami or is we going to live in Tennessee? And I think Rashad does not want to go to Tennessee, but he talking about maybe he can swing both houses. But hey, get your broker's license and do what you got to do, and make your mama proud. Anyway, and then we flip over to the ice skating. Brian invited everybody, well, not everybody, just a couple people, just to come ice skate with him. Rashad, his girl Monica, and the friend Monica. Unfortunately, Rishi, her boyfriend, couldn't make it, but she showed up anyway. And they're just having fun or whatnot. But Brian, in the back of his mind, he just want to impress this Monica girl, like, remember, she's the doctor, so they always bring this up. since she the doctor, that means she make more money than him. He just works in the IT tech world, which is still good money, but compared to her, right, she will be the breadwinner at this point. Kind of like a Cecil and Simone situation, because she was a doctor, or she is a doctor, but he was in the IT tech world or whatnot until his job went, he lost the job and all that. But anyway, different show, but yeah. And you know what? Unfortunately, Brian, I think he kind of corny. I don't know. It's probably just because he's young. He just he is not ready to settle down. So I don't even know what he be talking about. Honestly, he just need to just continue to date the girl and just have fun. Forget all that mess. Because yeah, you're not even trying to get married. Plus, you still might even like your friend Monica because they tried it, but they denied it. So what's up with that? Don't nobody know. Okay, so let me see. It was Brian's mom and Nisha's mom. Can't really remember their names. It's just hard to kind of pronounce some of these, or at least to remember them. Well, both of them. Because I think Brian's mom is, I'm going to call her Dharma, Miss D. And then Anisha's mom, Citra, Miss C. And, they're not really doing much talking about their lives and they kids, of course, how they just be wanting them to get married and all that stuff. But then they be trying to say that they don't really care, like let them not be married, because like they say in the community, people ask like, oh, when's your kid getting married, stuff like that, and then none of them is on that path for the most part. So it's like, but then they try to say they're not really traditional, yet they are. So they're trying to just go with the flow and be more, modern and I guess we'll say Americanized for that, because we're not. It's not that serious, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't, take as long as you need to get married. Just let me know when you do. And nothing much with that. Anisha and Dylan, they at the little sex shop, the little toy place, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all is called in your town, but we got like a Lover's Lane or a couple other places. But Anisha said, she ain't had none in about 3 years or so, something like that. So she did her just looking around and see what they want to buy, you know what I'm saying? And they actually ended up buying a couple things. So she just, want to get herself together before she actually let somebody else get her together. You know what I'm saying? So we get to Bally's house for the Friendsgiving, and everyone starts to arrive, and Rashal and Dylan actually show up together, which means that they squashed their little beef, which is a good thing. Let me see. His brother couldn't make it. Of course, Risha went home, so she couldn't make it. Monica, her boyfriend Rishi, he was I think he was working or something, so he couldn't make it. But Dylan came with Monica. Anisha's there, and yeah. And I guess we'll see if anybody else pops up. But I think that's the whole crew. But pretty much they're just talking, getting to know what everybody's been up to or whatnot. Rashad, he's sitting there getting bombarded basically with questions from Anisha on this side, and they got Monica on this side. And they're like, instead of talking to each other really, they're just talking to him. And they're asking about his relationship with Rishma, and he like, dang, it's just going back and back and back. I can't even, like, dang, y'all, let me breathe. But basically, he's like, he plans on actually buying the 2 houses. He wants one up in Tennessee, so that when he goes to visit her, then they have a house already established there. And then when she comes to Miami, he's gonna buy a house there, so that they'll be established down there. So at least it's kind of a start, like just to show her that he's trying to do something. I guess that's a good idea. I don't know. We'll see how it all turns out. And then we get to Brian and Monica. Like Anisha, she just always I mean, I wouldn't say start the mess, but she always be the one that just brings up whatever. So she like, yeah, what's going on with the doctor and, Brian, so they going through that whole spiel. Just kind of, joking about like what was attractive to him, besides his looks, you know what I'm saying? Because he is just like a party boy and all this crap. But she just said, she met him at the right time where he wasn't necessarily drunk and partying and stuff. And you're a good guy, right? Which I'm sure you're a good catch and all. It's just, yeah, they're just making fun of him. Yeah, that's all right though. Yeah, so Friendsgiving is going off without a hitch. They're eating or whatnot, and they start to play a game. One of those questions games. And let me see, it was like Monica, who would you marry, kill, kill, fuck. I think she said Bali can get the bedroom. Mary can be armored, and kill will be Bali's dog because she didn't want to kill anybody personally. Um, Let me see. Rashad had, if you could be a car, what would you be and why? I think he said Aston Martin because something about it going all day long, all night long. Cool. Who else? Oh, Brian's question was like, if you could have a one night stand with anybody in the room, who would it be with? And he was like, I'm not gonna answer that. Like, so nobody, you know what I'm saying? They're like, whatever, boo. So past that, Anisha's like, okay. She break up the little flow of the game, and she like, I got gifts for everybody. So they all pass it around, and it's like a little statue, a little figurine of a goddess, and it's for to help clear all obstacles in your life, something like that, like a good luck charm. And she just goes ahead to say like, of course she's looking because she's in her 30s now, and of course she's had this pressure from her parents, but now she's just got the pressure on herself. And so that's just what she's praying for, a man and a baby and being married. So and in this midst of the conversation, Brian's kind of feeling just a little ways because he's like, dang, she giving all this advice to Monica, like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to move that fast. Like, come on now, like, And I was thinking too, like, well, he's 29, which is not super young. He's just a little young acting. Yeah, but he's still not ready. So why y'all keep pushing stuff on people and they just don't want to be doing this stuff? Like, just let them have fun, like I said, right? Cool. And right, it goes off without a hitch. After all the shots and the things and all the fun and the dancing, Rashad and the boys always end up in the pool. If not, everybody's definitely Rashad. So, happy Thanksgiving. Friendsgiving. Alright, so the way we end the show is with Brian and Monica. He's taking her out on a date or whatnot, trying to show her a good time, show her a good day. And they get into the conversation basically about the relationship. She basically kind of goes straight into it as in, it's only been 6 months, which is actually kind of short, but she's already mindset of, okay, so when we gonna move together? And he like, well, let's give it some time. Like, it'll be in the future, it'll be somewhere, but just not now. So she's like, okay, well, what about meeting my parents? And he's like, wait a minute, like, nah, that's a little extra, like, because meet the parent, I mean, that's just, like, once you meet the parents, that's kind of like real serious. And I guess in their little culture, it's like you want to be married type deal, because you know what I'm saying, he's gonna have to go and ask at some point for her hand in marriage, and they got to go through all the logistics of what I'm saying, what you do for a living, can you take care of my daughter, blah blah blah. Because remember, like I say, he's not in the medical field. And basically, he's like, this is just a lot all at once. And it's just moving a little fast for him. So he tells her to just slow down. And she's like, slow down, dang. But don't it's like when you meet somebody, like, you should know, like, Like, he like, what? She's like, you would know when you know. Like, you're supposed to know when you know. It's they did this whole you know back and forth thing, and he was like, okay, yeah, I know what you talking about, but like I do know, like I like you and everything, I enjoy you, I love you, but right, let's just baby steps, let's take it one step at a time, let's, you know what I'm saying. So you know, he's a little worried about that, because then in his confessional he goes ahead to say, like, financially wise, because of COVID, his company had to shut down, so he's basically on a layoff type deal. I wasn't necessarily, I'm not saying he was fired or not, but we'll just say, you know, he's on a little layoff until this COVID thing lifts up and people start calling people back. You know, it happened to me. I know it happened to other people, but unfortunately, it's his little secret to hold, and that's, you know, once he confesses to that, I guess he'll feel a little bit better, but he'll work on that. As long as she want to be in it, then he should be okay, right? And then one of the last note I forgot to say was Bali is actually planning the proposal for Amrit and Nicholas. She's renting this nice little yacht and everything, so I think that's going to be on the next episode, which I cannot wait, because I think that's going to be really pretty. I kind of like those type of things. So, yeah, we'll get to that episode. And, yeah, this was Family Karma, y'all. Thank you for sitting back and watching and listening. And get on to the next one. All right, peace out.